Yo, what's up? Welcome back to Studio Time with Ryos. Folks, for today's episode, we are going to be remixing Dean Lewis's new song called With You. It is an absolute emotional, beautiful song, and I think that because of that, we can remix it into a nice, emotional, progressive house track. So that is what we will be doing today. Before we get started, I just wanted to say two things real quick. Number one, got the new little camera setup, little new lighting. Trying to go a little bit more casual and not so like dark and mysterious and stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of digging it, but let me know what you guys think down below. And lastly, my March sample pack just dropped. So if you guys didn't know, I drop sample packs every single month for Patreon members. And also, you guys will be the first to know this, but I am going to be dropping a volumes 1 through 30 collection. So if you haven't been subscribed to the Patreon at all, and maybe you got like one pack or two, but you want the whole entire volumes 1 through 30 collection, I'll be dropping that soon, perhaps. I don't know. But let's get right into it. Vibes are high. Let's make some emotional progressive house. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so here we are in FL Studio, the GOAT DAW. So I have a little bit of prep coming into today's session. Of course, we have Dean Lewis's original right here. And I also have this lead stack that I already brought in because I made this lead stack recently and I'm really proud of it. And I would love to use it in an actual track and an actual idea. So that lead stack sounds like this. Great melody playing by your boy. But as the name suggests, smooth prog lead stack. I'm a really big fan of this one. And fun fact, if you guys are interested, I basically made this by combining my Memories remix leads and the Fading Away lead stack. So go figure. So, my idea today is, of course, to utilize these leads. And I want to start by figuring out the bass line of his track, maybe remaking some chords or melodies, and then from there I can make my own melody using my drop leads, and then we'll go that route. So starting off with the bass. Personally, as you guys may have heard before, I really like to, when I'm remaking a track or remaking a chord progression, I always like starting with the bass line because it's just easier that way. So let's see. This might be the most beautiful song I've ever heard in my life. Just putting that out there. But let's start with the bass line. Let's see. I think the first note is F sharp. I think it's this. Okay, yeah, so simple enough. Whoops, that should be G sharp. Now that we have that bass line, it should be fairly easy to make chords. Now, I'm not going to go super crazy trying to make the exact chord progression that he did, particularly talking about like the inversions and stuff. I'm just going to make some basic triads based off of what we just heard. So something like this. So those are the chords. Like I said, the inversions and voicing probably isn't the exact same, but that's okay because I just want to use this as a guideline for when I make my melody. Now, the benefit of doing this is that there is a nice chance that if I make a melody following this chord progression and I think it sounds nice, it will also sound nice with Dean's vocal because Dean's vocal, his vocal melody already sounds good with this chord progression. So my little pea brain, it makes sense. So we're going to rock with that logic. Let's see if we can come up with some nice melody ideas. And I might as well actually keep the piano on just for vibes. I see the vision in my head, but it's not quite there yet. But basically, I want these to kind of be similar and match, and then here we can start going down. Yeah. think these notes need to come down. Oh, we're so close. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Okay, let's copy this over. I want to see if I can make a melody variation now. Just because if we're going to go for that classic progressive house vibe, usually it's nice to change the melody in the 7th and 8th bar, have it go up or something. Simple enough. So actually just moving this 4th bar up an octave sounded great. We love that. Okay. So I'm vibing with this melody. Let's do the big test though. Let's see if it sounds good with Dean's vocal.
I even knew I was ready to fall in love with somebody and love somebody like you. I was holding on for far too long, 'cause nothing's all that I ever knew.
I had no qualms with that. I think that sounds good. I think my P-brain logic was on point. All right, beautiful. All right, so now it is time to start working on the drop now that we have our melody. And because we already have this amazing drop lead sound, we really just need to focus on getting some chords and bass in. So for the chords, I would like to try... Oh, I forgot to plug this actually. I had a new song come out called Out of Time. You guys probably saw it. Really proud of that one. But anyway, I digress. I wanted to try those chords for this drop. For the bass, I've honestly, every time I make progressive house, I've been using this bass stack that I made. I just like it a lot. What are you gonna do? So we got some chords. Let's test these. Yeah, so the idea here is very simple, silent chord, and then super saw, and my bass sound. You guys have probably heard it a million times, and this is just a simple bass guitar. So let's take these chords and let's place them on this chord stack. Okay, now for the chords, something that I'm thinking about immediately is, should I make them sustained or should I make them rhythmic? Now, given that we used these chords in Out of Time, in that track we did rhythmic. Generally, I like to do rhythmic chords. So we're going to go that route. I am going to use the rhythm from the drop leads just because I feel like it'd be nice if we highlighted that rhythm so that everything kind of worked in unison. So let's go ahead. I'm going to actually just fast forward through this because it's just going to be boring. I'm just going to make these chords the same rhythm as the lead melody. Okay, so that is more or less the chords all nice and rhythmic now, which is cool. And let's copy that over to the bass as well. I need to go ahead and just get the processing opened up right now because this sounds crazy. Alrighty, so I just opened up the processing for the drive bass, the bass guitar, and then my chords. These all originated from their respective tracks. So the basses are from my Memories remix, and these chords are from Out of Time. And you can see nothing crazy, pretty much just EQ and leveling. There's a Noveltech character on the supersaw chord. I guess like that's the only cool thing. And then this one is just making it slightly less wide. Everything else is just EQ. So now... So we're headed in the right direction. Obviously, things sound nice and big and full, and that's cool, but we need to try to make sense of everything. I'm really not a fan of the way these are voiced. So whenever I'm adjusting the voicing of chords, the first thing that I always like to take a look at is the top melody. And in this case, not horrible, but I think I would prefer it to be a little bit different. So let's try... Yeah, already feeling that way more. The only thing is I stole the bass line. This should still be like here. Yeah, and then we can fill in this gap. Now, this chord stack worked really well as it is in Out of Time because Out of Time had really aggressive leads and really aggressive basses. This track, we're trying to go for like a smoother lead stack, and we're trying to go for like more of that classic emotional progressive house feel where the chords are much more important is where I was getting. So with that being said, I think that we should maybe add some kind of like piano. I like that option. Maybe we can try to get like some kind of house piano. This sound is crazy. I would say the only thing I'm missing is I'm missing a little bit more like aggressive mid-range to cut through. We have these init chords that are kind of doing it, but one layer that I like to add in my track sometimes is this guy right here from Spire. There's one sound I like to use. Yeah, and this is really aggressive. Let's try adding Maserati. Yeah, Maserati is really good because it adds this nasally mid-range, and that's exactly what I want these chords to do. Really, really like this chord stack. Let's go ahead and let's add some processing to the entire group. So we'll start off with one of my faves. Now I'm just going to pull up an EQ. Let's just try to tame the harshness in the top. Okay. I think that's good enough for now. I just realized I completely forgot to add a sub bass in. So let's go ahead and do that now. So for the sub, one of my favorite tricks is to actually use big saw basses. And what I'm going to do is just roll off all of that aggressive mids and highs. Yeah, see, like already super fat sub. Right now I'm feeling like the chords, they're just not special enough. So one thing that I like to do, especially on chord sounds, is I like to bit crush them. And there's this one preset in Shaperbox. I think it's called something Crush. Oh, Stutter Crush. Here we go. All right, that's a bit too weird. Let's turn off the filter. Turn off time. I'm going to try one more thing on the chords. I want to see if I introduce a slight rolling rhythmic feeling, how that would sound. Yeah, any chance I get to add extra movement, I'm taking that chance. Yo, this sounds crazy though. Okay, amazing. The next thing that we need to do for the synths, because I really like the way everything sounds, but if I'm being ultra critical, there's like a lack of dreaminess to the drop. And that's okay, because one of my favorite things to add are Atmos beds, which you can find a lot of them in my Patreon packs. Who said that? Yeah, so let's try. Maybe this one? This one's solid. I think we can do better though. Whoa, wrong key. Okay, I like the sound a lot, but obviously, as it stands, it is like fighting heavily with everything. So we're gonna go for a little tilt shelf action. Was that English? A little tilt shelf action. I'm gonna try to get more brightness out of this. The only way I could justify OTT on 100% is if I add rhythm. So the thing is, if I do too much rhythm, it's not going to feel dreamy anymore. Maybe that's a happy medium. Ladies and gentlemen, we are cooking with fire. So the next order of business, now that we've got like pretty much all of the main sounds that I want to use in the drop, maybe there's still room for like ear candy and little like, hey, like little things like that. But obviously we need drums, right? We need the groove. And then of course, now that we're getting a kick in, let me also get sidechain going on everything. So just kind of speed running this real quick, but you guys can see that I'm just throwing on kickstart pretty much for everything. All right, amazing. Now let's go ahead, let's get some rides in. Also got to get in the crash clap. I think the next best thing to get in is probably some kind of clap fill. And then along with the crash clap, I also hear a nice lasery downlifter that we can add. Excuse me. Yeah, this guy. Nice. Nice laser down. But you know what? Because we already have the crash clap layered, I want to get rid of all this other stuff and just kind of have the laser. I hear like a... kind of like the skip clap, actually. Hold on. Hold on. The gears are turning. Yeah, exactly like this, but except for a different ending. I kind of like it, actually. I'm just going to remove a little bit more lows. And maybe we can layer this with the caro fill. And, you know, nice little progressive house trick. Normally, after 4 bars, you have some kind of... another downlifter. I always pretty much add this guy. So I feel like it's gotta work. And just very slight in the background. Perfect. I really want to focus on the buildup though. I think the buildup is gonna be tricky and also very important for this whole idea. So I'm actually gonna start by consolidating my drop leads. All right, so the next order of business now that we have these leads bounced is we're going to introduce some filtering. So we'll open up good old Fruity Simplon. I'm also going to preemptively open up an Endless Smile. I know I'm going to need that at some point. And then I should also open up a Fruity Balance because I'm going to need that as well. So far, so good with the leads. Probably going to need to do more tinkering towards the end, but trying to stay efficient here. Let's go ahead and let's get some more instrumentation in. What I can say right now for the build drums, I know I'm going to need a few different elements right away. So definitely going to need a big snare, a kick, and a light snare, and maybe a ride or a hi-hat. You'll see in just a second. So let's just go ahead and get those things in right now. Maybe we could try the new build snare. I was also really keen on trying that classic build snare, this one. Yeah, this one's really iconic as well. Maybe we'll try it. I'll put it in the project just in case I decide to use it. Now, I also said before a hi-hat, which might be weird, but I really like doing this lately, where I put like a weird top loop in the back of the build-up. I feel like it adds just a little bit of extra sparkle and makes it sound a little more interesting. I also mentioned a kick. Let's get a small kick in the build. I'm going to try a different kick. And maybe go for something like this. I would really like to turn this into the bass riser in a way, this kick. And I could only do that if it was like this. So we're going to turn on stretch. Now this is going to be a pretty important element in the build. So the first thing that we need to do is pitch it up. Because like I said, the whole idea was to turn this into a riser / bass build. And that'll happen right around the halfway point here. Perfect. Okay, so the next order of business, we need a big festival clap. You know what, guys? I'm honestly not super sold on this kick and snare combo yet. So maybe we'll try the classic one that I called out earlier. Like, it's the beginning that I'm not super sold on. The ending, the last 4 bars of the build I really like, but it's the first 4 where maybe the chunky snare build is just not the move for this style. Normally it's not, especially because I'm trying to go for like the pretty smooth sound. Yeah, already way better. We're gonna go for this. Excuse me. We're gonna go for this snare instead. I think where we're missing some energy and some juice is in the effects department. So that's gonna be the next order of business. And I think we kick things off with like a nice slam for the start of the build. One of my favorite things to do are these little mini impacts. I do this in almost every song. Now it's time to figure out some risers. So the risers are actually going to be very, very important. I'm thinking we go for a few. So a simple sweep, a lasery rhythmic riser, and then just a simple like tonal energetic riser. Really like that one. I really like, of course, the ping pong riser. And I really like this one. And then we just need a simple sweep. Okay. So these are all a bunch of effects and sweeps I really like to use. So let's see which ones will sound good here. So far, so good. Really like the prospect of both of these. We're going to get in the simple pong riser now. Let's see how that sounds. Amazing. Now, of course, we also need a big downlifter for this build-up. Now, another thing that I'm considering is adding bass in this build-up. Sometimes it's cool to put the top bass. So let's see how that would sound. Of course, we're going to need to filter it, though. Yeah, I kind of like that idea, actually. So let's make some automation clips for both high pass and low pass filter. Now remember, here I have that kick playing, and it turns into a bass riser. So by here, I need the bass to be high pass a decent amount. Like there should be fun. So the bass sounds good in the build. These risers and sweeps and impacts, it all sounds good to me. I am debating. I think this clap and kick could be slightly different, but that's like, again, that's minutia. I'm not super concerned with that at the moment, but obviously it's time to get that drop fill in. Yo, actually, I think there's a fill from way back in the day that I used to use. That would sound really nice here. Yeah. That fill is 10 out of 10. That's exactly what I was looking for. I just heard a very, very classic kind of idea, which is to do like clap, 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 reverse, clap, 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 reverse. And maybe it's the ride that I'm hearing, but tomato, tomato, I like that prospect a lot. So we're going to cut this guy and we'll make a duplicate. And then the clap fill. Awesome. So the last two things that we need to get in real quick would be a nice clap snare and then some like hi-hats, just a simple top loop. I forgot about this one. This one's sick too. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's a great place to end off. Let's take a listen from the top and let's see what I came up with.
I'm still in love with you, without you. I'm still in love with you, without you.
Alrighty, guys, so that would be episode 57. I'm really, really feeling this idea. I hope you guys like it as much as I do. Some good old emotional progressive house. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you're notified the next time I upload. Also, be sure to check out my Patreon. We got monthly sample packs, lessons, feedback, much more. You can also check out my Patreon shop, which I failed to mention. It contains a collection of some Patreon packs that I've released in the past, as well as a course. The link for all of that will be down below in the description. So that'll be all for me today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.